Hey everybody, it's Just Ask Thursdays, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Every Thursday night I'm coming to you with dating Q&A. I know it seems a little weird, I've got a blacked out face, but I thought you would more enjoy seeing the beautiful Okanagan Lake with the stunning sunset behind me than my face for this edition. I'm in the Okanagan right now doing a series of dinners. If you're not familiar with me, my name's Andrea Hill. I am the founder and host of the Dinner Party, where I throw events to introduce and connect people to each other that are like-minded, share lifestyles and desires and wants with relationships, and they get to connect over a really fantastic meal. I host them at different venues in different cities, and I am in the Okanagan for the month of July, which is in beautiful British Columbia, doing a series of dinners to help people connect and find love. But Thursday nights, I'm here for you. I am doing my dating Q&A every Thursday night where I take questions live. So you can either tweet at me during the event at jointhedp or send me an email at info@jointhedinnerparty.com. You can check out the dinner party and other things that I offer and do for dating support at jointhedinnerparty.com. So this week I've had lots of different kind of juicy topics come up. I had a great afternoon, if you follow me in social media, with a wonderful group of women. And, you know, when you sit with groups, whether it be men or women, relationships always come up. It's such a huge part of what it is that we do. I'm sure you can hear them cackling in the background right now. They're sitting dockside and enjoying themselves. And part of what came up this last week is, you know, knowing when you're connecting with someone new, the legitimacy of them, if you will. So part of the concern with online dating, as I'm sure any of you that are using this handy tool to connect with others have discovered, that unfortunately a lot of people aren't being really genuine and truthful even with their online dating profiles. So we're having issues with people using old pictures, or they're falsifying their height, which I'm sorry, gentlemen, the majority of you are guilty of doing, and women falsifying their age. So I really would encourage all of you to put a stop to it. You are cutting off your nose to spite your face. How can you potentially engage and start a new relationship with someone, or even have a really successful first date, if you are starting it off with a lie? Being yourself, owning who you are, and celebrating yourself as an individual is rule number one in being successful in dating. When you love yourself, you will then have other people that will be attracted to you for who you are. But when you love yourself, that's when other people are given the license to love you too. If you're putting up a facade and pretending to be something that you aren't, or something that you think someone else desires based on your maybe limiting beliefs, you're going to restrict yourself from finding the authentic and loving relationship that I think most of us at the base of who we are really desire to have. You know, you hear a lot of the time people making comments like, you know, I only attract a certain kind of man, or I only attract my favorite, crazy women. There's crazy men out there too, and that's a word that's maybe thrown around a bit too much. Crazy really for me translates to someone that is themselves not happy with who they are, and you've attracted them because you probably aren't happy with who you are. Because if you genuinely love the individual that you have gotten to this point in your life to be, then you wouldn't be attracting those sorts of individuals to you and having those dating dilemmas. So really the foundation of everything, and I've spoken to this a number of times before, is really getting solid in the relationship that you have with yourself. If there's something about you that you have a concern with, it's doing a little inner reflection and potentially some counseling support, whether that be with a dating coach or if it's specific issues with just you as an individual. I highly recommend going to a counselor or If you're spiritually bound, a spiritually based individual, counselor, shaman, you choose, or even seeing a psychotherapist or psychologist to help you work through those issues. Because jumping right back into bed, literally, with another individual, when you haven't sorted out your own stuff, is just going to end up in disaster. So if you're hearing me share this wisdom with you and you're thinking, oh, that's not me, or hang on a minute, I am ending up dating the same man, woman over and over again, or all I've had is a series of really bad relationships, and you're trying to explain those situations away by where you live, or people in your town, or the job you hold at this time. None of those things are variables in finding a partner. If you're living in a place, unless it's absolutely all of one sex, you're not going to have difficulty attracting the right person if you're in the right place. So really sort of sit down and do an inventory of your own relationship history. I do this with every single one of my guests that come to the dinners. I do what I call it is a discovery session. And in the discovery session, I go through your family background, I go through what your value system is, and discover where that originated from, your relationship with your siblings, your mother, your father, what things you think they instilled in you, or what you learned from those relationships, because those mold us so much as to who we are as adults. And then we go through your relationship history. The people in your life that really made a substantial impact in who you are. And that could be your first high school sweetheart, or even maybe someone that came into your life and really made an impact on you, and you only spent a week together. If it left you feeling something strongly outside the parameters of lust, there's a lesson there, and that experience has shaped you. And if you've been married, you know that time and commitment to another individual shapes and affects you as well. A lot of the time we get into a circumstance where we just sort of run through life. We're not really taking an inventory or reflecting on where we've been and where we're possibly going. And if you don't look at the lessons that were there for you, what you learned about yourself from that past experience, what you learned about others, then you are prone to repeating the same errors or mistakes, or repeating the same lesson until you learn it. That's my favorite little saying. Life continues to deliver you the same lessons over and over until you learn them. And they can start like a tap, and if you continue to ignore them, they can end up like a brick. So an extreme example of that would be someone that was in, possessive sort of relationships at a young age. Boyfriends were very jealous, or girlfriends were very jealous and possessive. They wanted to know where you were. They were very manipulative. They were controlling of who your friends were, how much time you were even spending with family. And then at the end, after you've been through probably several relationships like that, and if you've been with one of those people, those tend to escalate to potentially further emotional abuse, verbal abuse, and the worst case is sexual or physical abuse. And there's always a little trail of crumbs, if you will. So it's really important to take a little time to reflect and maybe do a little journaling of where you've come from, where you are now, how you're feeling about your dating experience and reality as it is right now, and potentially taking a little step back, doing a little detox, and through that being able to decide how you're going to move forward. So you're not, one, choosing the wrong people for you that hold those same traits, or attracting them, because that's the energy that you're putting out because you haven't done your own work yet. Now, don't get me wrong, none of this dialogue is ever to suggest that anyone is deserving of someone else treating them poorly. However, we are solely responsible for ourselves, and it's a choice to stay. And a lot of the time, if you are grounded enough and have that relationship with yourself and can listen to even what your body is telling you, when you meet someone for the first time, your intuition is such a powerful thing. And if you're having little thoughts flitting across, your mental parameters of what's going through your brain during the date, or you're getting that feeling in the pit of your stomach, you listen to those things and don't try and explain them away. Or if you have a circumstance that didn't sit well with you, don't let anyone else convince you out of the experience that you had. It's really important that you listen to yourself. I can't stress that enough. So this week with Dating Intelligence, and Dating Intelligence is the article that I put out every week. I do have some contributing writers as well. And if you're wanting to have that show up in your inbox every Thursday morning, you can go to jointhedinnerparty.com and subscribe. It's all juicy goodness, completely free, and also lets you know about any upcoming events or other things that are going on. Does everyone see the Sea-Doo going behind me? Sorry, wrong way. Went that way. I'm hoping you can all hear me over the revelry in the background. This week I talked about the importance of curiosity and how dating should be looked at more like an exciting adventure. So when you're going out on your first date, you want to be curious about the person that you're connecting with. Ask lots of questions. It's through being curious and going on a little discovery mission that you're going to find out really early on if this person is for you. So specifically, you can ask some really key questions when you're out on your first date, or maybe even connecting on the phone before you're making that big commitment to meet someone in person. So you want to ask about their likes and dislikes. Really, if you have romantic potential with someone, wouldn't that be the first place that you go? Find out what things really light them up and excite them, and then find out the things that they don't like, and see if those things are aligned with you. And then also it's juicy materials, so that if you're going on to second, third, fourth, and you can stay curious, eventually a relationship, and being curious is what's going to feed that level of appreciation, if that's going both ways, is that you're going to know what lights them up, and you can do thoughtful things, or you can bring up topics of conversation where the two of you engage and you know what things that you both share with regards to passions. Dislikes? Well, yeah, avoid that landmine. You know exactly what it is that they don't enjoy or drives them nuts. So those are the sorts of things you can avoid. Another great question is not even a question, it's getting them to tell a story. Getting them to tell a story about either a travel adventure, or you found out what one of their likes is, and you want to dig a little deeper. So you want the person to share. It can either be something that's more sentimental in base, or a humorous story, which is always great. If you can get laughing on the first date, I mean, you're almost at a home run. And you asking them to tell a story, again, shows interest. It is so very flattering when someone's asking you to speak and share a little part of yourself. So the key in doing that is making sure that you're listening and not thinking about how you would reply, or telling your own story, or not allowing them to complete what it is that they're sharing with you. So make sure that you're actively listening when they're sharing their story. And then, of course, no one likes to be talking the whole time, so then you can reciprocate with a story of your own, something that shares a bit about you that they wouldn't normally discover maybe early on. And the real twist at the end is then, after sharing your story, asking them what they thought. What would they have done if they had had that experience? Asking their opinion. When you're asking for someone's assistance or opinion, it's showing that you value it. So really key thing to tie into part of the conversation when you're out dating and meeting someone for the first time. Don't forget to back all these things up with some great body language. Subconsciously, we tend to do these things anyways when we're attracted to someone, as long as we're not too caught up in our heads with nervousness. So ideally, when you're on a date, I really recommend that you don't sit across from each other, that you sit side by each, or at least corner to corner from each other at a table. It creates more intimacy and allows you to converse and not have the, the breadth of the table between you. But lean in, show interest. Sitting back and crossing your arms is a sure way to show people that you are not interested or that you're feeling insecure or uncomfortable. And it could be somewhere that we go to naturally when we're in that place. We're not feeling good about what it is that the situation is providing for us. It could be insecurity or just pure nervousness. So be aware of what your body language is doing at the table. So you want to lean in. And for heaven's sakes, get some touches in there. Now, you don't want to manhandle the person that's sitting across from you at the table or sitting beside you. But when they're telling a story, just a light little touch on the arm. Or if you're sitting close to each other, like I suggested, even the brushing of a foot or knees leaning against each other. These are all ways to initiate connection and create a means of bonding while you're on a date. Just subtle little nuances, and will be very easy to do. As well, you want to make sure you're smiling and affirming what these people are saying when they're sharing their stories with you. You don't want to be sitting there blank-faced. So you want to be nodding and smiling and engaging them, smizing with your eyes, if you will, and showing facial expression that way. All really key little things to tie in. And again, if you're having a good time, this stuff will just happen naturally for you. So the discovery of another, first date aside, continuing to do that, we all evolve and grow. Your obligation to yourself and to other people that you bring into your life is do your own personal work, as I had talked about earlier in the show. But in addition, it's continuing to grow and become the real cool, fully fleshed out human being that you're here to be. And when you're focusing on your own stuff, the rest of it just falls into place. It really does. You attract the right people into your life, you'll find your work is a better flow, opportunities come your way, and the people that you want just suddenly start to appear. And as Disney or magical as that sounds, it is so very true. I know even for myself, in the last year, with a great deal of personal development that I've even done for myself, and taken 2 years of a break from my last relationship to do reflection and really be aware and make sure that I knew what the lessons were that I experienced not only from that relationship, from past ones, so that I went forward in a really healthy way, and that I had the emotional and heart space to enter into a healthy relationship and not go on automatic destruct, it's amazing what's changed. Business opportunities, I have beautiful new friends in my life. I've started to meet and date. Yes, I'm dating again. In this last month, I've gone back out there myself and started dating again, meeting really stellar, fantastic individuals, but also taking the time with each person that I meet to be self-aware and pay attention to what my intuition is telling me, and taking the time, not being in such a hurry. Don't be in a hurry while you're dating, to really discover and find out who the people are that I'm spending my time with. So super key. I want everyone out there to be having a healthy, happy dating life. There's a lot of cynicism and upset out there in the dating life, but you are solely accountable for yourself. So if you take the steps, present yourself in a way to attract what it is that you are wanting in your life. So take a little review of that online dating site you might have out there and ask, am I showcasing myself in a way to attract what it is that I want? If you're getting lots of awkward, uncomfortable, hey baby, or ridiculous emails, you might want to tweak your profile a little bit. You're still going to get a little bit of that, a small percentage, but if you're getting a lot of it, you might need to reflect on what pictures you have up, what you're saying in your profile, and so forth. So something to keep in mind. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm losing light behind me. I hope you haven't minded not seeing my face, but have enjoyed the beautiful Okanagan sunset behind me. I'm going to be in the Okanagan doing a series of dinners for the whole month of July, so I'll have a new and exciting location for next Thursday's Just Ask. Happens every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get your questions in early at info@jointhedinnerparty.com or tweet at me, even midweek, and I'll add you to the list at jointhedp. Date well, do the work, and be a happy dater. I'm Andrea Hill with The Dinner Party, and I'll see you next week.